All right. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for tuning into Holistically Healing Me. I am Ardelia Jones. I am so happy to see you. Happy New Year, people. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Well, we have ourselves a fabulous guest speaker. She have been seen all over. She has been all over social media. She's had so many different interviews. She's been in so many different settings, and I am just so delighted to bring her aboard. Her name is Louisa Garrett, and she is the founder and CEO of Make Kind Loud. I love it. So we're going to just let you talk a little bit about yourself, the things that you are doing right now.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm Louisa Garrett. I'm the founder of Make Kind Loud. And basically, it is what it says. My mission in life is to bring as much love, joy, and kindness as possible for as long as I'm here. And I do that by showing up every day. I do a live broadcast every single day, just talking about how we can show up for each other because we belong together, and
Yeah.
also yeah, just doing that. And that's a lot, and it's
That's a lot.
amazing. It's amazing, and I love it.
Yes, it is. It's a really a great thing. So, guys, I love to start out with one. I love to start out with a scripture, and I love to tell you about our topic because our topics are always great topics. Okay. And this particular topic that I wanted to start 2023 out with was loving yourself with kindness. I absolutely love that because a lot of the times, we can say, I love me. I love me. But we're not always kind to ourselves in many different forms. We're not kind to ourselves. So we're going to talk on that just a little bit. And one of my favorite scriptures is 3 John 1 and 2, where it says, Beloved, I wish upon all things for you to prosper, where it actually says for you to be of good health as well as your soul shall prosper. So it's not that we're just supposed to be this one dimension where if I'm financially secure and I'm prosperous, but what about my soul? What about that too? So I believe that we have to mentally prepare ourselves, mentally position our minds to be kind to ourselves. I believe that we have to emotionally do that as well. I think that, and I'm hearing this lately more than I've ever heard it before, where people say, I'm taking me a mental health check day. And I'm like, well, okay, all right. I actually like that because sometimes you do need that. You need that moment just to step away. And then in that moment of having that mental check day, what are you actually doing that is kind to you? How are you making or loving yourself with kindness? So I just think that those type of things are extremely, extremely, extremely important. I absolutely think that again, that is mentally, emotionally, spiritually as well. So you could chime in anytime and talk to us what your thoughts are about the topic of loving yourself with kindness.
For sure. I mean, and you are absolutely right. We talk about success, we talk about prospering, we talk about material things and money and job success. But
Mhm.
what does all that really mean if you're not happy? What does all that really mean if your soul is sorry. What does all that really mean if your soul isn't happy, right?
Yes,
And
right.
so, yes, material things, fine. The big house, all the cars, lots of money. But if you are not feeding yourself with goodness, if you are not feeding yourself with love, if you are not feeding yourself with all of the compassion and grace that this world has, then what's the point of it all, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so
Exactly.
really, I believe that we belong to each other. And what does that mean? What do I mean by that? I mean that if you're hurting, then I should do my best to help you, right? And
Right.
unfortunately, in today's world, it's a lot about trying to get ahead instead of really looking and seeing what we can do to help. And if we were helpers, then we would all get ahead. And that's the beautiful thing about it. If we all helped each other, we would
Mm-hmm.
all get ahead. And so, and that comes with kindness and just helping, um and knowing that about yourself too, and making sure that you're doing what's necessary to bring you some joy, and
Mm-hmm.
to so that you can bring that joy to other people as
To
well.
others. Yes. I absolutely agree with that. I think that a lot of times, well, let's start here. Why this topic? I
Yeah.
love that. Why this topic? Um, Around the normally at the end, towards the end of the year, especially after Thanksgivings, I don't really interact a lot. You have, let me give a little something. Louisa has known me all her life.
My entire life.
She's known me all that way, and we're not just really close as far as cousins go, but we are interlocked spiritually as well. And she had, I don't even know how that even happened, how I end up calling you or texting you that particular day, but we were entwined. I know it was a post that you made, and I'm like, I'm right there. That's amazing because you normally, like I said, during the especially the last month, uh most of the time by November, October, I'm in a different place. um and I'm usually more just spiritually, just feeling all these different things about the world, what's about to happen, what's about to go forth. Just all of those different things are taking place during that time for me. And you made this post, and this was way before. Matter of fact, I know it was a good week before we were going through the emotional feelings of what was about to hit the nation in regards to the young man that everyone knew.
Yeah.
I didn't even know him. Okay, I had never. I've seen his face, but I didn't really know him. But I knew that there was something major that was going to take place to where it would have individuals to really. So, well, how can that particular guy be saddened? How can that? I mean, he showed his face on one of the hottest shows there is when it comes to talk show. He never gave that.
Yeah.
That is why loving yourself with kindness is so significant at the beginning of this year to speak about, because we can sometimes go into life with the smiles. We can go into life with a facade of joy, and we can present what you were saying a little bit earlier, the success. But the part about the kindness inside with the heart, is my heart really happy? Those type of things takes place, and I'm telling you, it I believe that it certainly shook up the social media.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. It was everywhere. And the thing that gets me the most is that um it took someone in that position to understand that there's an epidemic, and because these are things that are happening every day,
Every day. Every day.
every day.
And yeah, you never know what people are going through. And I you never know what people are going through. And if we can just be kinder, then this world would be so much better. And
Mm-hmm.
so the young man you're talking about was full of life, full of zest. He
Yes.
showed up, he danced, he smiled, he brought joy. He did all of that. He gave all of that to the world.
Yes.
But there was something brewing inside of him that he wasn't giving that to himself. And so you have to, you have to give it to yourself. Because
Yes.
if you keep pouring out and you keep pouring out and you keep emptying your soul, your vessel, you have nothing left for you. In order for you to continue to be a bright light in this world, you have to fill up your vessel too. And you
Yes.
can't just keep giving it away. You can't let these people just suck you dry, because they will. Because you're a light and they see it and they want some of it. They want part of it. And if you just keep on putting it out and putting it out and putting it out, all of a sudden there's nothing left. So
Absolutely.
what do you do? What do you do in
Mm-hmm.
order to fill up your cup? And that's a very personal and individual thing. There's no blanket thing across the, there's nothing that I can say, hey, do X, Y, and Z, and then you'll be great. It has to be something that you look inside of yourself and find out what you need and then use that. And then learn to say no. That's a beautiful word. And it's okay. It's okay to say no.
It is. It's absolutely okay. You know, no is powerful.
Very.
No actually stops individuals and places boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a lot of the issue is that we're expected to be a certain way, and it's almost like there is we're obligated to be the facade
Right.
of what someone else's expectations of us is, versus us standing in your truth and being able to say, no, I'm setting boundaries. I can no longer allow you to be one that have open access to my joy.
Yeah.
That's being kind to yourself.
Right.
That is being able to take moments where you take your authority back, because no one truly has the authority over you. And I think that that's another issue too, is that a lot of people have the tendency to think that because this particular person is in some way my superior in some form or fashion, that and sometimes out of guilt, we actually present that to others.
Yeah.
And some people, as you spoke so perfectly to say, about when you are a shining star, when you have a shining star, everyone sees it. And unfortunately, you have what I call spiritual vultures.
Right.
And they will draw you to, I mean, they will continue to draw. They will continue to draw. They will continue to fight. They will continue to pull. They will continue until you are, like you said, emptied out. What do you do when you feel that you have been detached from your own spirit? What do you do? A lot of people go into dark places.
Mm.
A lot of people. You know, it doesn't have an age group. We're talking about even small kids, little kids have experienced these type of things, as well as older adults. It happens.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because a person can have these grand um expectations of what they expect from you, but you have to be able to say no. No, I have my boundary. I set them, and I will not allow you or anyone else to interrupt that for me.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
And
important.
it's important, and people might call you selfish. And that word selfish is interesting to me, because when you're looking out for yourself, when you're doing something that is going to benefit you and help you have more joy, people call you selfish. I don't call that selfish. I call that filling yourself up, right?
Yes.
Because it's okay. It's okay for someone not to understand why you're saying no. You have no needs no explanation. I mean, that's the answer. Like, you don't need to expound upon that. The answer is no. There's no because, there's no well, no, because you have to be able to set those boundaries. Or because if you try to explain it, then those spiritual vultures, as you mentioned, will explain it away. And then all of a sudden, you're saying yes when you have already said no.
No.
So
Yeah.
stop explaining yourself. It doesn't matter what the reason is. The
Mm-hmm.
answer is no. And you have to be able to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
As I've grown, as I have I've been on my kindness journey. This is coming up on what, to 11, 12 years now, where I have really been focused, tuned in to kindness. And people who were with me prior to that are no longer with me. And so you have to be okay with that,
Come on here.
because everyone can't go on the journey,
They
right?
can't go with you.
And you want
Yeah.
them to. You want them to because you love them, right? That's your
Mm-hmm.
girl. That's my boy. I love them. That's my family. Those are my friends. Those are the people who have been there for me for the last 20 years. We have been hanging tough. But then when you decide to better yourself, when you decide to not feed into the drama, to not be sarcastic, me, I was very, very, very sarcastic. But
Oh
when
yeah.
you but when you decide to make that shift, right,
Yes.
then now you're acting funny. Now you're different. Now people always they whispering behind your back.
Wow.
And
She weird. She done changed up.
she done changed up.
They love to say you
However,
done
comma,
changed up.
however, comma, why are we here if it's not to change?
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, are we supposed to stay the way we were 30 years ago? If you have not changed in the last 30 years, what are you doing with your life?
What are you doing?
So that's the focus, and the goal is to help people to understand that it's okay to change up, to help people to understand that everyone cannot go on this journey with you,
Right.
that sometimes it's going to be lonely, that sometimes you're going to be in your room crying because
Yes.
you know what you're doing. You see it. You
Mhm.
see the vision that was put inside of you before you were even born, because everybody is born with a purpose.
Come on.
Everybody is born with a mission. Everybody is born with gifts. Everybody's gifts are different. Everyone's purposes are different, but everyone is born with one. And
Yes.
when you see it and decide to step into it, then step into it and let them talk. Let them try to defile your name. Let them try to get other people to say, oh yeah, that girl has changed up. Oh, she thinks she better than everybody now. Oh, look at her. I remember when, we used to blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we used to. That's past tense.
Yes. Now that that's good because it is so true that I get it all the time. And now I think that because of where I have grown spiritually, a lot of the times many can't even approach me anymore, where it used to be where, like, they would do that, you changed up, or you're different. But I've learned to say thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Like,
for sure.
it's okay with me. I'm okay by that. If I don't have conversation, I just don't have conversation. Uh, because I've learned that when you're walking in your purpose, your
Mm,
time is precious.
very.
You have to make sure that you fulfill every single thing that was already written in the book that you were supposed that was orchestrated before you were ever brought to this earth realm. You got to make sure that you do all of that, because the whole gift is to be when you return, that he can say, good job, good job, you did that,
Right.
that you fulfilled that purpose. And I think that that sense of lack or hopelessness,
Mm,
and also a frustration, usually those type of feelings that you experience is because you have not yet walked into the purpose.
right.
You know, why your mama calling me?
She calling you right now? I don't know. Why she calling?
Because she
Answer it.
want to
It's
be
a
on
phone.
this broadcast. She want to
It's
be on the broadcast, and I'm like, I'm sending you all the links I can send you right.
a phone.
She wanna. This is historical. I want to see it. Okay, auntie. All right, so yes, that is usually it's because you are not walking into your purpose.
Right.
That's when you begin to feel that frustration. There, it's a feeling of there's more. There's more for me to see. There's more for me to know. There's more for me to experience. And a lot of times people go on the whole voyage. I did. I mean, I experienced it too, where you want to travel the whole world.
Right.
Well, I had did that. I had done that. I went all over the world. I've seen every part of the world, just about. I mean, I can't think of too many places that it's more places that I have been versus have not ever been. I can
Hmm.
name those a lot easier than the places I've been, as have many places. But a lot of times that's what happened, because you're trying to figure out, what is this that I need to do? What is my purpose? This is not fulfilling. I've done this, that's not fulfilling. I've done that, that's not fulfilling. Okay, this makes me happy.
Yeah.
This fills me.
Mm.
You could, where you could sit back and you could think about, like you just mentioned, about being with Make Kind Loud for 11 years, and you could think about how it started and why it started and where it has developed and where it has taken you, and
Right.
it can have you sit there so, like, tears, those free flowing tears of absolute gratitude for, you chose me for this. And
Mm.
that's what I think that people need to be able to tap into, is that when you get to that place of, okay, God chose me for this.
Right.
And that's where you're being kind. That's where you're loving yourself with kindness.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. For
Mm-hmm.
sure. And owning that. I mean, you have to own it. It's a very powerful thing when you decide to step into your purpose. It's a very powerful thing when you decide to um, stand tall in the light that you are. And when you make that decision, it's not just about making the decision, it's about
Mm-hmm.
actually doing the action. And so everybody can talk a good game, everybody can say all the right words, right? We can get on here and say all kinds of beautiful words, but if we're
Oh
not
yes.
taking action, then what's the point?
Yes.
What are you actually doing to love on yourself? What are you actually doing with your purpose? What are you actually doing with your light?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I talk about changing the world a lot, right? And when you hear I'm going to change the world, people think about the world.
Yes.
But changing the world is with yourself first,
Mm-hmm.
and then your community, your family, your friends, and reaching out, being helpful, holding a door open, smiling at
And that's
someone.
major. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because as we said at the beginning of this, we never know what people are going through. And if you held the door open for someone and offered a smile, that could have changed their entire trajectory of their life.
Wow. Major.
You have no
Mm-hmm.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
Just that small, small thing. And so if we keep doing the small, small things, then that's what adds up. There's 7 billion people in this world. If everybody did small, small acts of kindness, then the world will be different. But you have to start with yourself,
Oh
because
yes.
as we talked about before, if we keep pouring and pouring and pouring, eventually the cup is empty. There's nothing left to pour. So you have to start with yourself. If
Mm-hmm.
that is saying affirmations in the morning, if that is
That's
going
good.
for a walk, whatever
Mm-hmm.
brings you joy. Every day I get up and I go take a picture of the sky, because that makes me happy. I take a picture of the sky, I put it on Facebook, and I'm like, good morning. There you go. Okay? Because looking up and at the sky really makes me happy. So I make
Yes.
it a point to do that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
Find something. It could be as small as taking a picture of the sky. It could be as small as sitting in a chair for 30 seconds and just being quiet.
Being. Just be. Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
being.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a gigantic task. People, because we think of things in such big things, nothing ever happens. Because we're like, it's too big. I can't do it. I can't do it. But if we can look at it in the very small things and the very small acts, sitting and being, taking pictures of the sky, offering someone a smile, and all of that adds up. Then
Yes.
all of a sudden, you've changed the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I always I remember you reminded me of a young girl. I was coming out of Hobby Lobby. You know me, so I'm always I'm always doing something. So I was coming out of Hobby Lobby, and I'm, Josiah and I were just, going along, long, 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 and then all of a sudden, when I was walking out of the door, a young lady looked me in my eyes and she smiled. It wasn't that she was trying to bring any attention to herself whatsoever, but instantly I was quickened in my spirit, man, and I said, "That's her gift."
Mm.
And look up and think, wow, how bright is her smile. So I had to go back. I said, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Don't think I'm crazy. I do that to people all the time because when the spirit speaks something, I just say it. But I had told her, I said, I was going 100 miles per hour in my head. I got to go run this here and I got to go do this. I got to do this. Let me pick up this. And I did not stop in the moment in order to embrace the day. I didn't
Mm.
stop. I kept going. And your smile is so captivating. You made me pause.
Mm.
I'm like, what a wonderful gift. She said, I just smile. I do that to everybody. I said, no, that's a gift.
Mm.
It's just not that. That's that's your that.
Right, right, right.
That is your that. It brings joy and it makes people pause to see the goodness of God. It makes
Mhm.
you in that moment be in the sometimes we that's another major thing on loving yourself to kindness is that you have to take moments. You need to take moments. It cannot be that you're continuously flowing. It can't be that you're gonna laugh too when you see this.
now. Hey, mama.
You're going to finally see when you begin to take moments. I am one that truly believes in meditate. Most people think that you got to sit there with your legs crossed and do this. Da, da, da. No, you don't. It's a moment. It's a moment of
Yeah.
stillness. And when you're able to take these moments of stillness, you're actually able to breathe differently. A lot of people don't know that they actually don't breathe properly. They do more panting than they do
Mm,
breathing,
mm-hmm.
which causes the heart. I have to say something about health. So, hey, honey child, which causes the heart to actually, pump faster because you're
Yeah.
always going like this. It's racing, it's steady racing. Those things certainly causes a lot of issues with the organs because in the bloodstream, all of these things, circulation eventually,
Yeah.
it causes all of those type of issues to actually take place, and you don't even realize it's because of my breathing.
Mm-hmm.
You need the oxygen to simply flow. So a lot of the times, if I believe that if everyone should meditate, if no more than 15 minutes. Sometimes it's 5 minutes. Sometimes it's just taking a breather,
Yeah.
uh, stepping away from your computer, stepping outside the building. I will go outside the building. You hear me? Like, that's enough. I'm done. Let me go because you about to. No.
Right.
I walked in here a certain way and I want to leave out joyous. And if
Mm,
something interrupted my joy, but that's over time, like you were saying earlier, you know, it's just important to be able to understand, read signs what your body is giving off to you because it gives off stuff. It gives off stuff, headaches. That's
for
that's telling
sure.
you
Yeah.
something, you know,
It talks
that's
to you
telling
every
you
day.
something. It gives off hints every single day when you are not in alignment with it.
Right.
And I think that that's a really major thing is that people, I want the people to hear us when we say be in alignment with yourself, be kind to you. That's mentally, emotionally, physically. Be kind
Mm,
to you. Be kind. Love
yes.
yourself enough to say, I've had enough. Love yourself enough to get plenty of rest. Sometimes we can go on 4 hours, 5 hours of sleep, not rest. Never take a
Right.
moment of rest.
Right. Because there's a difference. There's a difference.
I'm
And you
just
have to take those moments because if you don't, then those moments are going to get away from you. We don't know how long we're going to be here. Luckily, and I say luckily, we've had our grandparents who've lived, 85 plus
yeah,
90 years, right?
yeah. Hmm.
Um, and they saw a lot of life. And with that, what I'm saying is that in order to have that longevity, you have to take care of yourself. You have to get that rest because we never know how long we're going to be here. It could be another 40 years, it could be 5 minutes. We have no idea. So how about we do everything in our abilities to do as much good as possible, to love on
Absolutely.
yourself, to love on your world, to love on the people around you. Do that as much as possible for as long as you're here because we never know when that time is going to be up.
Absolutely.
And the life that we are given is precious, and it's up to us, this shell that we're in, this this meat package that
Mhm.
we're in. It is up to us to take care of it because it's protecting our soul is in here, right? and,
Absolutely.
and that's the very being of who we are. And so we have to do everything to protect our soul in order for our soul to thrive so
Hmm.
that we can continue to be the light in the world. We
Hmm.
all have the light, but the tricky thing is that we all have that darkness too.
Yes.
It's in us. The
Mm-hmm.
light and the light and the darkness is in there,
Mm-hmm.
and you get to choose how you show up. You get to choose which side of you shows up. You get to choose how you nurture your light,
Mm-hmm.
or how you nurture your darkness.
Yeah, if you're gonna let that light dull, I'm telling you, it could be vicious. You
Yeah.
know, I remember this. Brought this is another. You know, I like to tell the recaps of life. Um, I remember this many years ago. Before I need to make up something about before I had Jabri. I'm telling you, a firecracker. So I remember being one of those that would just go into a place where uh it was more than just being snappy. I don't know what you want to call that snappiness, but it was tough. It was rough. I was rough. It didn't matter who you were. I didn't care. Whatever wanted to come out of my mouth, I pretty much said it. So
Yeah.
um and I remember this one particular time where I got on my own nerves. I literally got on my own nerves. But see, that's the part that you're talking about. Because when you're not operating in your light, when you're not being kind to yourself, when you're not being loving to yourself, then
Mm,
of course your light is dull. And when your light is dull, all kinds of things come out of it. Your mouth, all kinds of things, your actions, all kinds of things,
yeah.
bitterness, grief, anger, frustration, all of these things come out because your light is dull. And
Yeah.
my light was so dull one particular day that I literally said, "Oh, I'd be glad when you shut up. You talk too much." To my own self. You know that's a problem. So I had to finally get to a place and say, Lord, change me.
Mm,
I remember when our great grand used to always say, baby, when you get tired of being sick and tired, you'll make a change. And you have to come to that place with your own self.
yeah.
I got to be different. I have to, and you have to restructure your I know it's cognitive thinking, but for others, the way that you have been programmed to think.
Mm-hmm.
Because some things you begin to realize when you're going through the journey of this being kind to yourself is that you'll begin to see that what you thought the whole time, that a particular person didn't care. They just
Mm,
didn't care.
right.
And you believe that for so many years until God quiets you when you discover, definitely when you discover meditation, stillness. Stillness is, oh my goodness, stillness is beautiful. A lot of people don't like to, that type of silence, but stillness is excellent because that's when God begins to reveal things
Mm,
to you. And when he does, it allows you to not just see your own emotions, but that other person that you thought had no care for you, you're able to see, wow, it was because of their own hurt, their own suffering, their own pain,
yeah.
their own inability to love themselves with kindness that they was not able to give me what they did not have.
Yeah. And that's a tricky thing too, though, right? Because you, with your family, with your friends, with people who've been, around you, like we were talking about earlier, the closeness of these people, and then you decide to take that action and walk in your purpose and walk in your light, and then all of a sudden, just because you made that decision to walk in your light, just because you made that decision to accept the responsibility of your purpose and really um, take action in your purpose, doesn't mean that everybody is on board, right?
Uh-uh.
And it's hard because I could talk all day. Oh, let's be kind. The world is beautiful. The world is beautiful. I firmly believe there's a lot more good in this world than there's not. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to be attacked. And I think that is very important for people to hear. Just because you've decided to be kind, and just because you've decided to shine your light, and just because you've decided to take action in your purpose, doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It's going to get harder. It's
Absolutely.
going to get
That's the
harder.
truth. That's the raw truth.
It's going to get harder. And to speak to what you just said, yes, you can understand and see that, oh, that's because they got stuff going on right now. Like I said before, we don't know what people are going through.
Mm-mm.
They don't know how to love because they've never learned how to love themselves.
Right.
And they're putting all of their vitriol and their vileness and their hate towards me because my light is shining, and they don't understand the light because the light is in them too, but they have shoved it down.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming at you, and you looking at them crazy, and they looking at you crazy, and you like, let me go on up here and shine my light, because you acting crazy right now. But you have to give them grace.
Yes.
We all we know each other, right? And both of us have not been on this journey our entire lives.
No.
We've struggled, we've gone through stuff, we've made mistakes, we've said things that we can't take back. We've done it all, right?
Right.
Just because we're on our journey, they're not there yet, and we have to offer them a little grace, a little compassion.
That
I'm
part.
not saying it doesn't hurt, because it hurts.
Exactly. It
Because that's
hurts.
your family, right? That's your family.
Mm-hmm.
That's supposed to be your blood. Those are your friends. You've been friends for 40 years. How
Mm-hmm.
dare they? Those are the thoughts that start creeping up.
It will.
How dare they?
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to take a step back
Come on.
and look at yourself, right? Because how dare me say how dare they when
I've been there.
I have done all of this. And
Mm-hmm.
just because I'm on my journey now and I am in this position right now doesn't mean that I didn't hurt nobody's feelings back in the day. Because I
Come
know I did.
here.
I know I did, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard. It's hard. It brings me to tears. It makes me get under the covers. It makes me ask the question, then what the heck am I doing? Why? Because it's your light and it's your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to love yourself in order to love the people who are not loving on themselves, because they don't understand it. They don't see it, but it's in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's in them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to say some crazy stuff. They're going to do some crazy stuff. But you've said some crazy stuff. And you've done some crazy stuff.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And that's where grace comes in. And we have to have grace. We have to. Because without it, then where are we?
Absolutely. I agree with that. That it comes a point where and you can relate with this as well, that during the journey, and you think, you done got all the stuff right, you in alignment, and bam, where your mouth was no longer the crutch. Something else takes place. It'll begin to affect your health in different ways, because see, the world is still the world, and there's still got to be challenges.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what are you going to do now? You're aching. I know you're aching all over your body. Your joints hurt. How you going to be positive today? Right. It's almost like it does that to you. How you going to be, how you going to be positive? What you gonna say? And at first, when things started happening, when it came to the physical, then that's where I had to learn how to be kind even in the pain.
Mm.
I had to learn that. That was a big, 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 big growth. Because just as you mentioned earlier, you're still going to go through things. You may be walking in that journey, but you're still going to come to it. And it's, can you still love and be kind in the midst of your pain? Can you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, some people can't.
Right.
I know, like, when it comes to myself, I have this thing that I do, and I'm telling you, I really do it. I totally withdraw. I will withdraw. I'm like, dang, ain't never even heard from her. Well, I made it a habit that way. I don't like for anyone to be too familiar with me. I don't
Mm.
like that. However, one of the biggest things that I do is that I totally withdraw. And when I withdraw like that, I want to just be in sync with the Spirit of the Lord. I just want to be right there so that I make sure that whatever it is that needs to be said or need to be done or whatever I need to be in alignment with in this moment,
Right.
I don't want to miss it.
Mm.
And sometimes you can miss it when you sitting up there thinking about it, but my joints hurt. My knee hurt, Lord. You can miss it. You can totally miss the essence of a moment
Yeah.
by thinking of just you,
Yeah.
and but also there is a point of that, and then maybe that's why I do it too, because it is a form of being selfish. And I believe in, hey, you may think that it's selfish, but I think it's profitable.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Because
very
you have to
profitable.
take care of yourself. You have to
You
take care of
do.
yourself.
You have to take care of yourself. And sometimes you just have to know, okay, this is me withdrawing. And it's not that you don't love. I love everyone, but I need some moments. I
Yeah.
used to say that to my kids. I still do to Josiah, but I used to say that to Jabril. Jabril tell you in a minute, and he'll probably do that even with his children, where I would say, I need a moment. I need a moment. Like, okay, I need a moment on that, because
Yeah.
I you about to take me, and you gonna meet Day, and you don't want to meet her. I need a moment. So it's
Yeah.
very important, It's so important to understand that moments are very detrimental, and also being able to withdraw and not taking every. Oh my God, this is a big one. Not the grace, not taking everyone on your level.
Yeah.
I cannot instantly assume that you are going to comprehend the way I comprehend. You're
Right.
going to think it
Right.
out the way that I think it out. You're going to
Right.
speak it exactly the way that I speak it. That's impossible. It's impossible but to learn to love and grace with others is very, very, very important. And I'm not, just because I may have withdrawn from you, do not mean that I do not love you or that
Right.
I do not care for you. It's just where you are and where I am is different. And for me to entwine with where you are, then you are going to take me from where I am and where I
Right.
need to be. That
Exactly.
that's just
Exactly.
it.
And
That's just
yeah,
it.
and you have to be okay with that, right? You have
And
to
you
be okay
have
with
to
that.
be okay with that. It don't have
Yeah.
anything to be, I'm aggravated with this person. I'm blah, 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 blah. It don't have nothing to do with that. It's none of
At
that
all. At
at
all.
all. Mm-mm.
And my thing is, I have a whole bunch of nieces and nephews, right?
Oh yes.
And they will be quick to tell you that I will say, I just want everybody to be happy. I just wish everybody peace and love and happiness and and just I really mean that, right? I really
Yes.
mean
Mm-hmm.
that I want you to be happy, however that looks for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to be a part of any of it. I am still going to clap for you. I am
Absolutely.
still going to be your biggest cheerleader.
Mm-hmm.
I am still going to send out as much love and joy and kindness and peace towards you as possible, because I want that for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I want that for everyone in this world. And
Absolutely.
people will say, oh, that's so, you see butterflies and rainbows and blah blah blah. And I do. That's like they're dancing around me right now, just rainbows, and it's okay, because that's how I see the world, because I think the world is beautiful and everybody in it is beautiful, even people who have done really bad things.
Yeah.
I don't think there are bad people in this world. I think people do really bad things. I think people make choices.
Yes.
You have made a choice to
Mm-hmm.
do a bad thing, but that doesn't make you a bad person. But if your actions continue to that choice, then I'm gonna wish you love and peace. But we can't, as you said, be on the same plane. Like, I go do you, and I'm sending you away with love and
With
peace.
love and peace.
I have no animosity towards anyone,
None.
but
None.
everyone cannot have access. And that's not
Mhm.
selfishness.
Oh my
That's not
goodness.
selfishness.
Come
That's
on.
loving. That's loving.
That's love. That's like me
Because
loving me.
yeah, in this world, it's hard. It's hard and it's cruel at times.
Yes.
And it's unfair.
Mhm.
And you see people who are getting the material things, the people who are that have all of the monetary success and whatnot.
Mhm.
And you think, but I'm a good person. But I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing. Why am
Mhm.
I not? Because it's not about that.
Yeah.
Success has nothing to do with any of that,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Not your
And
mandate.
so
It has nothing to do with your mandate.
it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with it. And I truly want everyone to be happy in this world, however that looks for you.
Mhm.
However that looks for you. And it brings me to tears. I'm a big crybaby, because I want everyone to see the beauty that there is inside of them.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
everyone to see the light that's inside of them, because we all have it.
Mhm.
And you and I especially can feel that energy, and I can feel when the energy is not and not vibing. When when that and I'm like, oh, I
Let
got
me
to
get up
go.
out of here.
All
Let
right.
me go. I leave. I am not gonna kid. Like, okay, I'm
I
gonna
got to
need
go.
about another
Right,
3 or 4 months
because
before I do that again.
that energy that you tried to infiltrate my soul with, no, thank you.
Oh, thank
You stay
you.
on over there. Now I'm gonna
Well,
stay
one
on over
reason is
here.
because we'll go through the different things physically. If
Mm-hmm.
I've been around that negativity, major something not right, shifting, I'm gonna feel that in my body, and it'll stay in my body for like some days. I have to literally retreat
Yeah,
and go to myself, and then have the Lord just harvest. It's a really hard thing, and I don't think that people, when you're sensitive like that, I don't think that people understand
yeah,
what you carry.
yeah,
They
for
don't really
sure.
understand it.
And they try to use sensitivity as a bad word, right? You're too sensitive. You feel too much. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Yes,
No,
I'm very sensitive.
I'm,
Before my kindness journey, that used to get on my nerves when people told me how sensitive I was, right? And when somebody made you so mad, you started crying. And I
yeah,
still do that today. Hey, baby, when somebody makes you so mad that you start crying,
yeah,
and I used to be like, I'm not crying because you made me cry.
right.
I'm crying because I just a lot of stuff going on in here,
All
right?
right.
And and so but it's that sensitivity that is beautiful. And I people who feel a lot, and I hope this message comes out loud and clear, keep feeling.
Amen.
Um
Keep feeling.
and don't allow people to put their stuff onto you,
Yes.
because they're going to try to make you carry it. It's not yours.
It's not
Their
your
stuff is not
spirit.
yours. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So don't carry their stuff. Don't do it. You can hold space for them. You can offer them a lot of love and compassion and joy, but you do not have to carry their load,
No.
because it's not yours to carry.
Mm-hmm.
And stop putting stuff on yourself. Stop it. You walk in your light.
Yes.
You walk in your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Feed them all the goodness and keep it moving. Everyone can't come, and their load is not yours to carry. So stop carrying it.
That's a word right there. And it's the truth. That's a whole word. Um, a lot of, like we spoke a little bit earlier, I was saying how people can make you feel obligated to their expectations of what they think you should be.
Right.
And that's false. It's false. You can be the best of who you are. And sometimes that just means that you have to step aside and just congratulate them on where they at. Be
Yes.
peaceful and joyful. Hey, I'm proud of you for where you are, honey, and what you're doing
Yes.
and how you living, boo. That's you. But I can't, and you're right about this. Everyone, everyone cannot walk with you on your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Your purpose is your purpose. That's what was designed before you were in your mother's womb. That was designed just for you.
Right.
And even though God gives us destiny helpers and people that they're the motivators, when you first start out, they're the motivators or whatnot. And some of the haters, and they're sitting up there just
Right.
the whole
Right.
time, but they're really hating, and all these different things. But note, just like someone has walked in your life, there are some that have to make the load lighter and they have to walk out.
For sure.
And one of the issues, with, especially with people that are fine tuned to, I'm going to say fine tuned to the Spirit of God. Because I think this, when you have the Spirit of God in you, honestly, you should be sensitive. What has been called discernment. You have that where some, to check on some ain't right. Then you also have that thing where you could feel someone else's heartache, someone else's heart pain, or whatever that deal or the situation is. You can feel it all. Okay. The deal is with those particular situations is that it's okay when the door has been opened for someone to walk out of your life. That means that they're no longer a part of the purpose of your journey.
Right.
That do not mean that you have to ride that thing out and feel the all these other emotions about the fact that they're no longer there.
Right.
It's
Right.
okay that they're not there. The purpose for them is now complete. But you can't stop your life. This is the big one. You cannot stop your life and stop shining or stop walking in your journey. because someone else time was up in your purpose.
Right. Exactly.
You can't.
Exactly. And you got to be okay with that.
You
You
have to
got to
be
be
okay.
okay with it. And it's hard sometimes. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard. But you got to be okay with it.
Mhm.
You got to understand that there people are there for moments. And when their moment is up, their moment is up. But the problem is that we like to hold on.
Yeah.
We want to drag them with us.
Hmm.
Oh no, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
Not knowing that dragging them with us is derailing us from where we're supposed to be going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brings forth distractions.
Exactly.
Well, our time is up. It's unfortunate because this has been a fabulous conversation. I've enjoyed every minute. And I want you, Louisa, to kind of let the people know where they can find you on Facebook, even if you have a few things coming up and going, that's going to be happening. Um, I don't know why I see this, but I really do. Where just you being able to have more speaking engagements. I pray that over you. I even pray that the Lord will release this wonderful book that He has given you to write. You have a journal. You need to go ahead on and do what it is that God has said for you to do. It is not, and you know that I don't know that in the natural. I just saw it just now. So just do what it is that God has called you to do. This is the time. Do it. Just do it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because that's going to open the doors that you have been seeing yourself on all these different stages. You've seen yourself on these stages. That is the door that God is going to allow you to walk to different platforms, and it's going to be because of this book. Do what God told you to do. All right, go ahead and tell the people where they can find you.
Well, find me on Facebook. Facebook is my jam. It's just my name, Louisa Garrett. Also, I have a page, Make Kind Loud. Both of those you can find me on. And what's coming up? So, for the last almost 5 years, so next month is going to be actually 5 years, I've done a um, live every day, just motivating the people, and mainly it's for myself. I really be talking to myself. If somebody tunes in, great. If they don't, it's okay because it's really for me. And so I've done that every single day for almost 5 years. So that anniversary is coming up next month, and we're going to do a big to do about that. And then lastly, we're doing a kindness summit in April. It's going to be where
Oh,
speakers are going to be there. We're going to have vendors. We're going to have all kinds of greatness. And that's going to be that at the end of April. I'm making that announcement February 1st. And so you'll have all the information then. But yeah, Louisa Garrett, follow me, Make Kind Loud, and you cannot miss me.
all right. I love that. I love that so much. I am just going to say thank you so much, so much, so much for joining me, being the very first person of 2023. I'll never forget this as
Whoop,
long as I
whoop.
live. I'll never forget it as long as I live. So I will definitely. I think I would love to be just there at the Kindness Summit. I would love to see what
Yeah,
that's
I'll
all
send you all the information.
Yes, definitely. And I always try to circulate other people's stuff. I don't mind. I love it. The more you get people involved, the better it is. And especially when they're having something that is positive that's going to feed your spirit. You need your spirit fed with some good food. And that good food that we was growing up on with them peas and cornbread. That's what you need in your life. Good, good,
Right,
good
right. A
food.
little
Yeah.
cornbread dipping in the juice.
Okay, come on now. You got to have some good for your soul to be fed upon. So, with that being said, thank you so much, so much, so much, everyone that has tuned in. Thank you, my dear auntie, that finally was able to find out where we were. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. May God bless you. May God bless your families. In Jesus' name. Good night.
You too. Bye bye. Thank you.